So if you look at Euro HD right now, price reacted from this order block and created a new high. And if we see over here, then I was buying at this area, then price went and again price hit my stop loss over here, and now it's still continuing to the upside. So it have swept this liquidity again. It's still continuing, but right now I'm not short on EU. There is this order block and breaker block setup over here. I see. Indian order block is order block between order block. So from Friday's live, we marked this order block on lower time frame. So price came and tapped that order block. So this one. So price took out the liquidity and then we had this imbalance. So one day price have to fulfill this imbalance on lower time frame. Price came tapped and it now continued to the upside. And here price is just creating liquidity. So this is the liquidity sweep. But because we had this push which took out the low, so we can expect price to react from this breaker block because this trend line liquidity was swept by this breaker block. So we can look for a continuation trade to the upside by taking a confirmation. I can look for a buy side trade from here to the upside. We want price to close and create some kind of structure. We already have liquidity building to the upside. So price can tap and it can shoot to the upside. So this is our 1:5 setup on gold. Hello. On US while on US 30 price didn't tapped our order block yesterday. It's still creating liquidity. So this POI is still valid. On BTC, I wanted price to create structure, but his price broke this zone very quickly. And now I think it's still continuing to downside. So we had this POI on BTC, which is this one. Again, price is tapping this POI. Let's see. We want price to create a change of pattern, then only we'll be confirmed that now it will go to the upside, because other than it will be just a liquidity sweep. So price can react, continue the upside, it will just sweep the liquidity and it will continue the downside. So that's why we want price to create a change of pattern. On GBA, price have tapped and now it have gained. Price has given us change of pattern and now it's continuing to the upside. You can see yesterday I've shared this chart. This is the candle which took out the liquidity. Now it's continuing to the upside. The structure from last week is still not good. CAT JPY, we had this order block. I gave this chart yesterday. Like you could have caught this trade from here also. It went to the downside, but here we have this trend line liquidity. So again, price can sweep this liquidity and it can continue downside. On USD JPY also, I shared this chart where if price goes to the upside and then gives a change of header, then you can look for sell side. Probably this was the breaker block which took out the liquidity, and now it's reacting based on that. But that was not a clear cut setup. Let's see what we can do. Please hit the like button. Yesterday, your analysis for BTC was not in favor. Yes, I shared that why it was not in favor 5 minutes ago only. I think there is not a particular reason, but here, if we can see, there's another order block below this low. So we wanted price to create a change of pattern, but if we saw this was our zone where we are looking for a change of pattern. So price gave a liquidity, but you will see there is no inducement or nothing or not kind of any structure happening over here. You will see there is clear structure break. Price went not even single engulfing candle over here. So we don't have any reason that price broke the structure or this PO was failed, but we have reasons to where we will not look for entries. So you'll see we want price to come slowly at our PO and then give us a engulfing. Then that's a good confirmation that now price will react from this order block. From like last week, you can see from 14th August, here we have structure where we can look for entries like it's moving, creating structures. But from yesterday, from Friday, price broke the structure and it's there is no particular structure. So basically price is consolidating from this area. That's why we are not getting good entries. And that's the reason why I hit our stop loss. Here I think it's from yesterday. Hello, hello. US oil. So if we look at daily time frame, we can see price have tapped this area where price took out the previous high and then give us a structure break, creating liquidity. And we can see price tap this order block. Like I think it can continue to the downside from here. And we have structure to the right side also. So here everything is liquidity to the lower time frame. So we have this buying order block on US oil. Price took out the liquidity and gave us a breakout structure over here. And everything over here has been mitigated. So this is a buying area where we can look for a reaction trade to the upside from because we have this liquidity sweep structure break. So we can look for buy side entry from here. Overall structure is coming to the downside. So right now there is no structure where we can look for any trades, but this area can work as a POI. Price is creating liquidity. So you can look for a chalk on 1 minute and look for sell side entry from here. Let's see if price is reacting based on there is a small inducement over here. So on DXY, Price flipped the liquidity, but it didn't tap any PO, any order block or something. Price just sweep the liquidity here. So we don't know what price is doing right now. It's basically consolidation only from morning. Like this liquidity has been taken out, so we probably have more liquidity downside. So it will sweep the liquidity and then it can continue. So until unless this both structure has been swept out, we'll see the real direction. Right now it's just consolidating. So price is creating equalize and then it can continue. Gold sideways. I don't think gold is sideways because so this is kind of structure break over here. And this is a 30-minute order block. Price have tapped this order block, so it can continue from here only. So there is this breaker block, and there is an order block to the right side here. But there is a good POI to the downside. So it can react, but I think the good move will start from here. This breaker block took out the liquidity and then give us a structure break. So it's nice to tap and then we look for chalk and then it can continue, or we can look for 5-minute engulfing over here. Price should come very slowly and then it should tap and then it should continue. From past week, everywhere there is a confusion because of DXY. Price is just consolidating. Even I am not getting good entries from Thursday. Yeah, from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, everything is very boring and price is just consolidating. How to identify a mitigation area or block? Mitigation block or mitigation? Breaker block and outer block are the same thing. It's just the difference between time frame. So if you look at this 30 minutes, you will see this is outer block. This whole thing which took out the liquidity, where price started to go down, and then it swept the liquidity. So this is on 30 minutes. But if you go to 5 minutes, you will see that this is a breaker block and this is a order block, something like this. So it's the same only. What it's mitigation block and breaker block are slightly different. I don't know what it is. Let's see. Okay, it's the reverse of order block. Yeah, it's the same thing only. Okay, mitigation block does not sweep the liquidity. Order block sweeps the liquidity. But then the problem is if you try to understand, like use every concept, then in ICT the main problem is then there will be some kind of order block everywhere in the price. Like you will say there is this order block and again there is this breaker block. Everywhere there is some kind of zone. So price have reacted on US 30 from this zone. It's what it is, breaker block, order block. Even the price action on US 30 is not good. It price have swept the liquidity, mitigated this order block. Can tap and it can continue, and again it can go to the upside from this area. If you look at this order block has been mitigated, so it becomes liquidity. So price can just tap and it can continue to the downside, sweeping this liquidity and then continuation. Please hit the like button. Hello, hello. Good evening. Hello, how's your week going? My week is good, but the charts are not good. Right now, also on Euro USD, there is a setup formation. For that, we want price to break the previous structure. Right now, the price have induced the previous structure over here, and this candle has been closed between the structure. So we want price to break this zone, and then we can look for entry from this order block. So basically, it's forming a quasi motor pattern like this. Stop loss below this level. and you can target the next like 1:3 setup when we have this imbalance also in the price. So now price have started to fulfill the imbalance. So only thing we want to see over here is we want price to break the previous structure, and if price does not break the structure, then we can look for liquidity. It basically create a consolidation. Then we can look for engulfing, and it will continue to the upside. Like one minute consolidation, 1 minute engulfing still works. See, so this is the low. This is the area which took out the low. So this is the area which took out the low, and then it broke the structure. Price create liquidity. It will sweep, and then it will continue. And for that, we have this imbalance in our support. Few to 30 minutes, we can see this is the imbalance, which is showing that the direction is still to the upside. And we also have this imbalance, which is also indicator that price wants to go to the upside, but because of this liquidity sweep, it just sweep the liquidity, and now it will continue. On gold also, price is creating trend line liquidity. So just like this, price sweep the liquidity from here. I want price to sweep the liquidity, and then we already have structure. So just a engulfing will be good for entry, and we can target the next time. So far, it's just accumulation weak everywhere, and the high time frame is forming, right? So on 50 minutes also, we can see this is as a POI. Price, we want price to break structure, tap, and it will continue by sweeping the liquidity. Like, so we can see on US30, price swept the liquidity, and the order block has been mitigated. So it's becoming a trend line liquidity over here. So I think price should sweep to the downside by tapping this order block. Nifty's chart. Price came, created this low, equal lows. It's creating a trend line liquidity, but I could have looked for a buy side setup from this area. It went to the upside, but then again, it started to go down because there is this wick like candle which took out the liquidity, probably targeting the equal lows over here, and price started to go down. So instead of looking from sell, you could have caught this move from here or downside. So that's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow. Price is rejecting from this sort of block. Again, price faint, tap this. Let's see what it does. But this is not a good setup. Good setup is from here, where we look for sell side from this area.